Hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are watching or listening from. This is John Paul from John Paul Music UK, and we are live streaming on so many different places. Of course, we're live streaming on YouTube, we're live streaming on my Facebook page, we're live streaming on Twitter, we're live streaming on Twitch, and we're now live streaming on Instagram. So, hello to everyone at Instagram. Give us a thumbs up. This chat that's underneath us is actually a chat that's going across a couple of different places, but it's not on Instagram. So if you're on Instagram, say hello in the Instagram chat as well, because I've got that up as well, and say hi. So this live stream is sponsored. Before we get going, this live stream is all about how to get gig ready with a looper. So if you've got something like this, like an RC500, or if you've got just a single phrase looper, or how to get gig ready as a musician, and just hope everyone's all right with that. I'm going to give you 10 little facts, 10 little ideas to get you gig ready for 2024, as it's now the last day of January. There's a couple of things I need to go through. First of all, this live stream is sponsored by our friends over at DistroKid. DistroKid is a music distribution company, so if you're making music and you want to get it out there for 2024, then DistroKid can help you. They're the people who can put it onto things like Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, Pandora, Deezer, Tidal, all these other places. So if you are interested in doing that, this link basically will give you 7% off your first annual membership. So you have to pay normally with other music distributors every time you release something. This you actually pay one price per year, and that's $22.99, and DistroKid gave you 7% off with that link. So if I do this, I'm very interested to see what happens, because basically this is my little code that you can scan if you're watching on Instagram with your phone. I don't know how that's going to work, but basically I also know that should go into the chat. So let's see if that works, and if that's okay. Right, thank you DistroKid for sponsoring this live stream. The other thing as well, before we get going, I just need to let you be aware, obviously this pedal, the RC500, I have actually created a course on it, and I said basically while that course is being built, I'm going to give you a discount, and that discount's been going on. Today is the last day of that discount. So if you're watching this now and you're like on the fence, basically 15% off the RC500 course. So it's $97. You get it for $82.45. I sound like a QVC thing. Late night shopping for Australian Ray. Yeah, so basically there's a discount that's going to go. It's going to go basically at the end of the month. So click that link, have a look. If you're not sure where that is, that's on my website, which is johnpaulmusic.co.uk. Now, hi everyone. Hope you're well. Hope everything's okay. I put the chat underneath, and we're doing this in sort of like, you know, the whole long format, as it were. So the long format's that way. Sorry, portrait format, because of Instagram. We'll see how that goes. And we've got the chat underneath. So it looks like Ray and Australian Ray and Piers having a good old chat. Only hear JP in one ear. I hope not. Oh, yeah, you will. That's me. That's my fault. Hang on. 2. How's that? Do you know why that is, Piers? It's because it's still set up for you and me when you were here. If you haven't seen that, by the way, it's a good live stream. I haven't changed the audio interface since then. So now it should be coming through as stereo. He's a lefty at the moment. I am not. I'm a lefty at the moment, not righty either. I'm not getting into politics. So it's back. It should be back in normal now, hopefully. Let me know if it is. Anyway, today we are talking about getting gig ready for using a looper. But this is actually good for anyone, you know, whether you're using a looper or not. It's just some good context for getting a couple of things done. So the first one, obviously, is this, which is basically choose your looper. Choose a looper and get what's right for you. Now, there's loads of loop pedals out there. There's single phrase loopers. There's looping for the guitarists. There's loopers for all kinds. I've said this a million times. I'm saying it again. Choose a loop pedal, but make sure that loop pedal is right for you. Don't get like a loop pedal that then, you know, 3 months down the line you're going to hate, or, you know, in a couple of months down the line you're going to go, oh, I wish I'd got the other one. Just make sure you get the one that's right for you for at least 12 months. So for example, you can get the RC1. This is an RC500. It's got 2 tracks. You might need a couple of additional pedals if you want to add more things onto it. You've got the RC600 as a pedal. You've got obviously a 505 tabletop looper. There's so many, and I'm here to help you with that. So choose a looper, choose a loop pedal. I should put looper really. That's right for you. And I've got loads of playlists on YouTube. So if you want to actually look at my YouTube channel and have a look, go to playlists. There's loads of playlists about all the different ones, and then you'll figure out what's right for you. The other thing as well is don't really change your set just because of the looper. Make sure obviously people are using the looper that you want to, the one you want to use. Say hello in the chat if you're in the chat in my Facebook page, if you're on YouTube, or if you're on, I believe, Twitch as well. You can see it's just under there. And if you're joining us on Instagram, hi! This is the first time I've done this on Instagram. Hope you guys are okay. Choose life. Yeah. So there we go. Let me just go into here. There we go. Grand. Wicked. So that's the first one. Choose a loop pedal. Choose a looper. Choose the one that's right for you. Choose life. Choose a loop pedal. Choose cabs covered in a range of fabrics. Then the other thing after that is, and this is really obvious, but practice your loop pedal. Now, people go and get a loop pedal and go, oh, I'll just take it to my gig and see what happens. Don't do that. Please don't do that. No one wants to see you fumbling around with a looper, whether it's Loopy Pro on an iPad, or if it's like a loop pedal, like going, oh, I've done it wrong, I'll just delete it and do it again. So we don't want that. And I would happily turn around and say, make sure that you at least know the basics for that. Which leads me nicely on to, if you do want to learn the basics, absolute plug here, but if you do want to learn the basics, then I have a basics course for looping, which is $97, and you get 5% off with the word, with the word subscriber. If you put subscriber in the checkout, you'll get 5% off. So if you do want to obviously learn the basics, learn your looper, that course is for any looper. So it's not about the pedal or anything like that. It's basically learn how to loop. So that's the one. That's the second one. I'm going to pause for a minute. Everyone okay? Let's have a quick look. I feel like the chat's just stopped. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do something. There we go. We'll have a look. We'll see if that kicks in, because I've noticed the chat's actually changing in a couple of different places, but it's not changing here. There we go. Now, I did get a question. There we go. Why I can't see that for some reason. That's really weird. Okay, that's fine. This is what happens when we're live and we do something new, and we make sure that it's working. It was all working and it's all fine. So there we go. Australian Ray, 600 Marshall stack, standard fabrics. Got it now, just to make room on my looper. Nice, cool, fantastic. So the first one was obviously choose your looper. The next one is actually then practice with your looper, your loop pedal, your loop, whatever you've got. I'm sorry, Pierce, I've said loop pedal, and I should have actually said a looper because I'm including things like Loopy Pro on that. But there we go. The next one is actually for live or for live streaming, is plan your set list, but structure your songs. So what I mean by this is basically by planning your set list out, you can obviously, there we go. You can obviously, looping can be real fun and spontaneous, but the other thing as well is it can be a bit repetitive, as some of my friends know, and a bit boring. So it depends basically if you want to obviously have, a specific set going through, or if you want to do something completely crazy like I do, where I just go for make stuff up on the fly, and I can do that as well. And there's loads of different ways to do it, but certainly if you're playing specific songs, specific covers, plan your set list is one thing. And then the other thing as well is structuring your loops. So when you structure the loop, like how are you going to put the loops down? Are you going to just do it like it's on the, I always say on the CD, but CD's apparently now dead media. That's what I've been told. So how are you going to do it? How are you going to actually structure it down? You're going to make it your own, and obviously decide how you're going to use that pedal, whether it's going to be, or that looper, whether it's going to be just for a kick drum, or it's going to be the full song. Are you only going to use it for the intro, or are you going to use it for the chorus? I hope this is making sense to everyone, but structuring the loops is one of these things where basically you can, you know, change how it sounds by bringing in harmonies from the loop pedal, for example, or a looper. So obviously number 3 is plan your set list. Little drink there. So we've chosen a looper. We've now practiced at home with the looper, and we've had to play with it because you've watched my courses and on how to loop, and you're awesome now. And then what you do is you plan your set list. So therefore you're planning a set list of, you know, songs that you want to perform in order. And the other thing about planning the set list as well, I'm going to actually reference one of my other friends who's also a YouTuber, which is John Wynn, the way he structures his night out, as it were, for the set list. So for the first half, he's looping everything fresh. And the second half, he's looping things... Your voice is only on the left. Background music is stereo. It should be both now. I did fix it before. Maybe that's delayed. Let me know. Hopefully, maybe if you're watching this from the start, you'll know you've carried on and fixed it. And now we're talking to you in the past, and then that's a waste of time. Anyway, if you're watching that from the beginning, then and you've rewound the live stream, then that might be why. It should be all right. Someone will let me know. But yes, you can plan your set list out where obviously you've got stuff pre-planned to keep obviously the vibe going in the room and things like that. So that's very, very important. Just changing something. There we go. Cool. Brilliant. So obviously, I'm live streaming on lots of different places, so there's a couple of things going on at the same time. So I'm just trying to make sure that we're getting it all right. Still tuned in, still only left. Your voice is definitely still left. Oh, that's annoying, isn't it? Hang on. That'll be me then, being an idiot. Well, you know, these things are here to test us. You can listen to something completely different on the right if you want. Audio! What are you doing, audio? Don't want that. Ah, there we go. How's that? Try that now. Let me... watching in real time. Thank you, Rabbit. That's good. Thank you very much for letting me know. How's that? Let me know if that's any better. Hopefully it is, because I've just... told it not to be stereo, basically. I just told it to be mono, so hopefully that's all right. Right, where was I? Yay, it's working. Woo! Right, okay, so sounds like early Beatles stereo mixes. Oh, that's cool though. I like that. You know, Ringo in one ear and John in the other. Choose your looper. Practice your looper. Plan your set list. Structure your songs. We've gone through all of these. Okay, so the next one is one that most people trip up on, and it's this one. Check your levels. Okay, they won't be right, and it doesn't matter whether you've done this at home, they will not be correct. Okay, the reason they won't be correct is because you've done it in a room like this, okay, this sound, and then you've gone into a pub which is about 10 times the size. So basically, voice and background both now in stereo. Good! Actually, they are both in mono, but don't tell anyone. So check your levels because they won't be right. So when you go in from one venue to another, if you go from like a small pub to a big venue, you're gonna have to adjust maybe the EQ of the looper, or you maybe just need to adjust the levels. So you're playing obviously electric guitar, it's going into the looper, and then you plug the looper into the amp that's there on stage, and everything sounds distorted when you hit the distortion pedal on the amp. That's because you need an effects return. So things like that really do make a difference when the sound engineer goes, just plug into that one, mate, and you're like, whoa, that's not the way we're doing it, because actually I've got a looper and the looper needs to go out to the main PA. Or if you've got something like the RC600 or something with multiple outs, which way stuff is going to go. Also, the other thing about checking your levels, even if you're in a small environment, you may be practicing, and I've got my speaker up there right in the background, but I might be practicing with that speaker, but you might be in front of the speaker slightly, in the corner of a pub. So therefore, you need to make sure that you're not getting feedback or you're not getting bleed from that speaker going into the microphone, going into the looper. So things like that obviously make a big difference. So obviously, this is just depending on where you're going to be, okay? So that's our first four. Our first four is choose a looper. I'm going to say looper as opposed to pedal, obviously. Practice with this looper. And then with that, you can obviously practice by looking at a load of my playlists. Go and look at Pierce's playlist if you want to get into Loopy Pro. We've got a Loopy Pro playlist as well. And go and have a look at some of other people, like my courses, for example. You've got my courses there as well. Plan your set list out. You don't have to use the looper for every single song if you don't want to, but you could obviously plan it out, make sure it's going to keep the audience engaged. Check your levels. They will not be right. That's really funny considering what's happening with me and this microphone. So I hope everyone's all right. I hope you're having a good day. In the UK, it's got a bit windy in the northwest of the UK. So let me know how you are. And also, if you can do us a favour, and wherever you are, give this a like. Give this a thumbs up on the platform that you're on. I have to say that now because we've got different platforms. We're playing in different places. It's great. So if you're on Twitch, if you're on YouTube, if you're on X, Twitter, if you're on Facebook, my Facebook page, or if you're even on Instagram, give us a thumbs up for me. That really helps me and it really helps the channel. Thank you very much. This has been up the entire time. Whoops-a-daisy. This has been up the entire time. We are sponsored. This live stream is sponsored by our friends over at DistroKid. DistroKid are a music distribution company. So if you're making music, you want to get it out there and you go, how do you get your music out onto like Instagram so you can use it in Reels? Or how do you want to get it onto Facebook? Or how do you get it onto things like Spotify or Apple Music? Well, that's DistroKid. They are a music distribution company. And then with other music distributors, they charge you every time you release stuff. With DistroKid, just charge you one price, which is a subscription, which starts at $22.99. But with the link, you can actually get it for 7% off. So there's a QR code there if you want to scan it. It should have just gone in the chat, but I don't know if it has. I don't think it has this time. But anyway, we'll try our best. Basically, you'll get 7% off. Obviously, just write down the link that's in front of me. It's going to be there the entire time of this live stream. The other thing as well is, I'm just letting people be aware. Thank you very much to DistroKid, by the way, for sponsoring this live stream. The other thing as well is, I have this course, which is called the RC500 course, and it's 15% off. So if you've got one of these and you want to know the most out of it, then I've done a full-blown course. And I'm still putting stuff into that course. So it's 15% off. That goes today. It goes basically on the 31st of January. So, the 1st of February, it's going to go. So if you are on the fence about it, obviously go over to my website, johnpaulmusic.co.uk, and you can get the course there. Oh, I feel like I need to breathe. How is everyone? All right. Buy the sound person a pint or whatever they're drinking. There is no sound. Well, that'll be me then. You can buy me a thanks, Piers. Nice. Like that. Right, where were we up to? Check your levels, yeah? I said that's number 4. Okay. Number 5. Check your gear again. Okay? And then if you're going somewhere to a venue, check it before you leave. I know that sounds so flipping obvious, but believe me, I have done this. I think every musician does this. I have a little thing basically about making sure I've got the right cables because I've got to a venue. It was an open mic night. I got there and I didn't even have the right cables to go out for my looper because they were here on the floor somewhere and I completely forgot to pack them. I know that sounds so obvious, but honestly, the amount of times I've forgotten things like a mic clip, or worse still, I've left the mic clip at the venue because I've done that. I left it in the Whiskey Jar in Manchester. So yes, things like that. Obviously, check your gear and make sure you've got everything you need. Just double check your bags as if you're double checking your passport for going onto a flight, like everyone does, even though people that say they don't, but they actually do. Oh, I meant the gig, assuming there is a sound person. Oh, okay, I see what you mean. Bob and thanks. Love that. Yeah, so check your gear. You've got your stuff. Maybe you've got your looper, some cables, a microphone. They're all strewed around. You haven't got it in a pedal board, and you've actually got you've just thrown it in a bag last minute. Just slow down. Take your time, make sure you've got everything. In fact, there's some good advice coming up where basically it is literally check your gear, all the cables, even maybe have spares. Just like you'd have spare strings for a guitar, have maybe some spare cables with you, or have a completely separate bag. So have a bag that's basically just for gigging, and you don't use those cables at home. You only have that for the gigging bag, and then you know it's worth it because then you've got that there. Australian way. Make sure you take all your leads. My guitar strap is the norm to forget. Oh, you forget the yeah. It's not the first time. It won't be the last time. Now, so much easier before I started with a looper, unaccompanied singer. So as long as there was a mic and a PA at the venue, I was good, and the venue was small enough. That's optional. Fair enough. That's the great thing about, obviously, with Pierce's stuff. If you go and have a look at his YouTube channel, an unaccompanied singer. So, and then obviously using the looping in a very, very different way. We did a live stream, which was a How Do You Loop live stream with Pierce Corley. And if you want to go and check that out and see how he uses Loopy Pro, he uses it very differently. Really, really clever. Really, really clever stuff. So there we go. Right then, number 6. Location. If you are basically making sure you get to the gig on time, you get to the gig with enough time to set up, and then also a little bit from what I said before about sort of like checking your levels, check your location. Is there a plug? Is there a way to plug in? Now my RC600, for example, I've now put that, there it is, there, right in the corner, just that little red thing there. It's not little. That now runs on batteries, and because I've got a battery thing, which I did a video about as well, but I do a video about everything. But things like, for example, this again, the RC500, brilliant, runs on batteries, don't need a plug, brilliant. You get to a venue, it's dead, or it dies halfway through the set, even worse. So you need to make sure that you've either got, batteries charged up. This brand new one, the VE22, which I've just done a video on. I'm just bringing out another video for it as well. Again, it runs on batteries. Runs around about 6 hours, between 6 and 9 hours, depending on whether you're using phantom power. But if you're not using phantom power, then you're going to get a bit more out of it. But don't do an Indiana Jones thing and just kind of wait to the last moment. You want to make sure that this can run the whole thing. So when I do a gig, I make sure that is charged up, the actual battery pack, which can go for, I think, about 12 hours, which is fine. But I still make sure it's charged up just in case there's any issues or I've left it on by mistake, things like that. That can happen. But location, it's more about, what I mean by this is you get to a location, you go, cool, you're playing there, the power cable is by that door. Have you got a long enough power lead? Where are you standing in relation to the PA? Can you hear yourself? Do you want to hear yourself? There's all these different things that obviously do make attention, obviously, for, how you're going to perform. Again, if I had this microphone on and I had that PA speaker absolutely blasting, we're going to hear that come into the microphone and go into the looper. So therefore, I need to make sure that I'm standing in the right place. So feedback, and also from a performance point of view, the view, not the view for you, but so everyone can see you. If you're playing in a pub or you're playing live streaming, it's no good me basically being all the way over there if we're live streaming. So if I actually was to, sort of like be in the corner, I've been over there, but I can zoom my camera in. But if it didn't do that, and I'm about this big, yeah, it's not great, not really great at all. So this is it. But what's that? Yeah. Now, you have to upgrade from the Boss VE20 to get the VE22. Well, if you've got the VE20 and you like it, you're going to love the 22. The sounds are great, 32-bit float, USB-C, vendor mode on USB-C is really great on this because you can get a dry and a wet signal, and you've got loop back as well, which are great for putting into your DAW, your digital audio workstation. And I'm just about to release a video which is all 50 presets without me doing any of this jibber jabber, so you'll be able to hear what they sound like. So really, really cool. That's a good one, Piers. Like that. I'm bringing that up. Where are you? Love that. So spare batteries for your tuner. Absolutely. It says the unaccompanied vocalist. Brilliant. But they're right. You're absolutely right. I like that. Australian way, that's what I do. One bag for the gigs and the jamming and the different stuff for home. I think that's a really good way to do it. It really is, because it's one of these things that's it's very different now, because, you know, cables don't cost that much, to be fair. You know, if you've got a bag with all your cables and everything else in, it's really nice, because then you can just go, yep. Even if I had a bag which was dedicated to everything, before I left, I would still go into that bag and go, have I got everything? Just do a check. You haven't taken something out because, I don't know, Pierce came around and I needed an extra pair of cables. I'm only messing, mate. There's like, you know, you go, oh, I need to use that, and you just grab it without thinking, and then the next day you kind of got a gig and you're like, oh, flipping heck, I've forgotten it. Things like that really do matter, you know. I would certainly, obviously, make sure you just check all your cables, make sure you got them. So location. Obviously, check your gear is number 5. And location is number 6. If you're just joining us, welcome, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are listening from. This is JP from John Paul Music UK. This live stream is sponsored by our friends at DistroKid, and this live stream is all about getting gig ready, or getting ready for a gig or live stream with the looper or loop pedal, whatever you've got. So we have been through choose a looper if you haven't already. Practice with said looper. So please buy one of my courses and help me out, but also help you out as well. Plan your set list, structure your songs. We go into structure as well. Check your levels. Make sure that your levels are right at the venue itself. If you're at home, you're practicing at home, you're doing, obviously, you know, live streaming, just check the levels and make sure, because you don't want that. And I've done that. So please don't do that. If you're at a venue, do a sound check. Make sure they're actually there. Then number 5 is basically check your gear again. Make sure you've got your gear before you leave, and check the gear after you've finished. Make sure you've got all the stuff that you came with. Oh, I left my looper. Really? That's not going to happen. I hope not, anyway. Maybe there's an after party and we're a bit inebriated and we forgot all our stuff. The other one, and then the number, well, not the last one, the number 6 is location. Obviously, check where plugs are, so you can plug in. Have you got cables long enough? Are you going in via a massive stage and you need to actually go through DI boxes and explain to the sound engineer, this is my vocal, this is my guitar, this is the loops, there's all that to consider. And then physical location. Are you going to be packed into a corner, or are you going to be like on stage, you know, with lots of room? Can the audience see you? I know that sounds really silly, but like if they can't see you, then, you know, depends on the pub. I'm going to go to a pub later, which is like a really lovely old man's pub. It's kind of like very traditional, big brick, open brick kind of thing. And when they have gigs on, sometimes you are in a corner, but you only one half of the pub can see you, and that's just the way it is. It's a lovely place though. Number 7. Be flexible and adaptable. So what I mean by this is things can go massively wrong. Okay, so being flexible and adaptable, you need to engage with the audience, even if it's a live stream. So I'm talking to a camera right now, and then I'm looking here to look at what you guys are saying. And I do that even if I'm playing. The one thing you don't want to do is start live stream and go, is it on? Can you see me? You need to be a bit more professional than that, and just obviously go hi, and you make it like a show, like you've just hit record. Regardless, if people have joined later on, they've joined later on. It's fine. You can either rewatch it on a replay, or they've lost out. It's one of those things. It's just exactly the same as playing in a venue. If a couple of people play an event, you're not going to go, oh, I'll start my set list again. That's not going to happen. You're going to carry on, and they just came in at halfway through. That's just the way it is. So be flexible, be adaptable. What I mean by be flexible, be adaptable, looping can be unpredictable. I've played a loop, and while I'm recording a loop, I've had someone go, oi! And it's gone into the looper. I've had things where I've pressed the button and deleted the entire loop by mistake. You need to obviously take it with a pinch of salt, and obviously just be aware that you're going to make mistakes. I do. I've been doing this for over 15 years with looping, and I make mistakes. And everyone makes mistakes. We're human. We'd like to say we don't make mistakes. Or even right at the top of the looping game, look at Ed Sheeran when his loopers failed him on one gig, and he ended up doing the second half of his gig acoustically. So are you able to play your songs or sing your songs without the looper in case something goes drastically wrong? Like I said, check your gear, make sure if you've got batteries in this, they don't run out. But if they do run out, what are you going to do? Have you got a plan B? Not plan B, the person, just pull him out and go, there you go, you sing for an hour. Have you got a plan for, obviously, have you got a plan for if something goes wrong? And this is the thing that you need to obviously have, that you should be able to play or sing your songs without the looper. Now, obviously, Pierce, obviously talking about, being an acoustic singer, then, of course, you don't technically need anything other than maybe a bit of amplification. So it depends. I've been talking away, and I've just seen what has been put. With this. There we go. Brilliant. Press next song instead of start chorus. Oh, that's hard. Whoa. Made a surprisingly decent beat. We accidentally looped a burst of coughing while practicing. That's brilliant. Fantastic. This is it. Things go wrong. They do, but you have to kind of. I think people who play with loops and loopers. I think we all do take it with a pinch of salt, and that's fine, because we need to, really, don't we? We need to make sure that it is going to go wrong. Yeah, Pierce, if people can't hear you or see you, they will tell you. Yes, apparently I was only on the left, and believe me, they all told me. So yeah, depends, obviously. So yeah, I mean, basically, with being flexible and adaptable, you should be flexible and adaptable. Be ready to improvise or change your plans. Because the other thing as well is you may have this set list that's you think's awesome. You start playing it, and you look up, and you're like, no one's dancing, and I've just cleared the room. Right, change your set list. That can happen as well. Sorry, I'm twiddling things. And you need to obviously think about how you're structuring the loop. What if it goes wrong? How are you going to build it back up again? Or are you going to build it back up again? When I did that one where I pressed the button and it just deleted the whole thing, I just carried on, and then it was just like, this is the acoustic part of the song, and I ended the song like that, and people liked it. It was like, hey, and that's fine. But for me, I was like, oh God, I've ruined it. And someone went, that was good the way you did that at the end. I went, yeah. Yeah, it was always planned. So things like that, obviously, be flexible, be adaptable. If something does go wrong, don't panic, Mr. Mannering. If you're British, you know what that means. Switching channels, switching things, there's loads of different things. Obviously, yes, set lists are there to be thrown out. I always think a set list is a guide, not instructions. It's a guide for you to structure the night. But if someone goes, mate, have you got this song? We'd really love it. And the whole, I don't know why all my audience all sound like this, but they do. But yeah, if someone goes, have we got this song? We'd really love it. And everyone goes, yeah, play that song. If you know it, do it. Do it there. Do it then, because they go, oh, play it in an hour. They go, oh, forget you. I'm not going to do that. Love from New Zealand, rags to riches. How we doing, UK? Hope you're well. So we're just talking about basically 10 different things you can do to get through, basically get yourself ready, get yourself set up for success. But what we're going to do is we're actually talking about, obviously, things that don't obviously do that. So there we go. Oh, look at that. Shall we just... Bless. Oh, they're offering me a promotion. Isn't that lovely? Well, we'll hide that, shall we? Whee. There you go. Well, you got your little promotion there, didn't you? Hopefully, give that a second, and then I want loads of people to put yay, Y-A-Y in the chat just to get rid of this thing on Twitch, please. Thank you. Just so it goes out of shot. I can hide it for now. We can do that, and then we can do. But I don't want to hide everyone's chat. Yeah, Pierce, try not to apologise, and especially don't apologise in advance. Absolutely. Yeah, this is one actually that I've taken quite a long time to get used to. I know this sounds mad, but I've certainly when you're doing a new song. This is the first time I played this in front of humans. I'm sorry if it goes wrong. I might mess it up. Do you, as someone who's an audience, do you want to hear that? No, you don't want to hear that. I think that's something that, confidence, and we'll get to that in a minute, actually. One of the things, but we will get to that. Did a gig at the Police Boys Club, didn't think of the words of some of the songs till I was standing in front of the kids, so I just changed some of the words on the fly. Okay, nice, cool. And Pierre says yay, as I've asked everyone to do. If everyone who is currently watching, if you just type in Y-A-Y. Will you do some more manual tutorials for Loopy Pro? Asks Sarah. That's a very good question, and good afternoon to you. Yes, I definitely will be. So I'm talking with Michael at the moment. Michael's just done an update, which includes keyboard stuff, which is quite cool. So yes, Sarah, I will be. Stay tuned. In the meantime, go and speak to Pierce Corley, or go and watch his live streams, because he does some interesting stuff with Loopy Pro as well, and that might tie you over until at such time I'm going to be bringing this out. Ooh, the cat's just woken up. Hello. So yes, very good. Oop, what's going on here? There we go. E99, hi, I'm Korean. Hi, I'm British. Nice to meet you. Fantastic. So, audience loves seeing someone recover gracefully from a mistake anyway. Yes, there's a graceful thing about mistakes, about, recovering from a mistake. But the other thing as well is just absolutely ruining it. Like just oh, sorry everyone, I pressed the wrong button. No one wants to hear that. They go, oh God, and grab their pint and they walk off. You just go, okay. I've come off stage before and I've gone, oh, I didn't like the way I did this, or I didn't like the way I did that. And the other thing as well is don't treat yourself too harshly, because your mistakes that certainly if you're doing your own songs, the audience don't know that was a mistake. So definitely, cut yourself some slack in that respect. But, be flexible, be adaptable. And obviously learn your undos and redos. So learn when your undo is and your redo. So if you do make a mistake, you can undo it. Carry on going. And then obviously, if you want to bring something back that you liked, delete that. But actually, I've got a redo here, so I can bring it back. Bring it back. Do it. Try it. See what happens. That's quite good. So that's number 7. So I'm just going to take a little pause here to actually tell you about these guys, which is DistroKid. So if you are making music and you want to bring it out into things like Spotify, Apple Music, Pandora, this is the Gremlin, by the way, and you can basically put your music out there to loads of different places, including places like Instagram, where we are right now, as well as Facebook, Twitch, X, and obviously the YouTube channel. So if you want to actually get your music out there, DistroKid can do this. They are a music distribution company, and you give your songs to them and they push it out to all your online stores. There's over 160 different stores now, which is crazy. There'll be stores around the world that you've never even heard of, and there certainly was for me. And there's stores where I get plays and I'm like, I didn't even know that place existed. And most music distributors, they charge you per release. But what DistroKid do is they charge you one price per year, and it starts at $22.99. However, with the link that's on the screen, it's also that QR code down there, you get 7% off. And in that way, you get 7% off, so you're paying less than $22 for the whole year to release as much music as you want to of your own music. Now, you can do covers as well, but also at the same time, they are chargeable because they have to get the license right for you. But they sort that out for you, which is great. It just depends, obviously, what you're doing. There's loads of other things, obviously, that DistroKid do, including Distro Vault. They do promo cards. They do lots of other things as well. So thank you very much to DistroKid for sponsoring this live stream. Give this, obviously, a look-see. It's in the description box on Facebook and on the YouTube channel as well. I'm trying to remember if it's on the Twitch one as well. I think it is. So if you haven't obviously scanned it, or you can't scan it because you're watching on your phone, then go over to the links that are in the description box. So hi to everyone. Hi to everyone on every platform that we're on right now. We are going over... Where's it gone? There it is. We are going over getting gig ready with a looper. So we're going to actually have a look at a couple of different things we can do to get gig ready with a looper or a loop pedal. But actually, the way the conversation's been going, it's about anything, really. It's any gig, really. So the first one really was obviously choosing a looper. Make sure the looper's right for you. Don't obviously go and get a monster looper if all you're going to be doing is putting one kick drum down. And rightly so the other way around. Don't get a one-phrase looper if you want to put entire songs down and separate them all out. Make sure it's the right one for you. Practice said looper, whether it's going to be obviously, Loopy Pro, or it's going to be a pedal looper or a tabletop looper. We've got loads of different playlists on the channel, so obviously for lots of different things. Like Sarah said, we've got the Loopy Pro playlist, we've got the RC500 playlist, the 600 playlist, the 5 playlist. There's loads. And also I even now do courses on things like the 500 and the 600 that you can buy, which leads me nicely onto this course is now out, which is the RC500 course, and it's 15% off while I was building it until the end of January. Today is the end of January, so that discount's going to go tomorrow morning. So get your 15% discount now. The next thing after obviously practicing your looper is actually planning a set list. So plan the set list that you're going to do and structure your songs. You may want to go, do you know what, I'm not going to use it for this song, or I am going to use it, I'm going to put harmonies on, or I'm just going to put a 4/4 beat down, or I'm going to actually make an entire loop chaos thing, depending on what you're doing with your levels. And talking about levels, it obviously is check your levels. So check the levels, obviously, of your looper, in the room that you're in right now. If you're doing a live stream, make sure it's right, it's not distorting, but also then check the levels when you get to a venue. Do a sound check. Do you want to do a sound check? And you go, nah, I'll just plug and play. No, do a sound check. Make sure, if it's your own gear, do a sound check. Don't just assume that venue, the sound's going to be fine, and it ends up bouncing off the room, and the sound goes into your microphone, and it sounds awful. Check the levels, because they won't be right. Just assume they won't to get them right, and then it's a good way of doing it. The next one is check your gear again, especially when you leave, and whether you're leaving here to go to a gig, and then of course, what are you doing in my house? No, if you're leaving your place to go to a gig, or if you're leaving a gig to go back home, check your gear again. Make sure you've got all your gear, or if you've got separated gear for home and gear for gigging, still check it over. Make sure you've got everything you need before you leave. Number 6 is location. If you get to a gig and they go, the plug is miles away, or your batteries have died and you need to actually charge something, are you able to do that? Are you sitting in front of the PA? Are you behind the PA? Lots of different things to think of there. And number 7 was be flexible and adaptable. Obviously, things can go wrong. Be obviously ready to change your set list, or be ready to make sure you are able to, recover from a mistake. Or if everything just went wrong, then what are you going to do? Or, have you got that in the back of your head? If it all just switched off straight away and there's no lights and you're just standing there with your acoustic guitar, or you're just standing there with nothing, can you sing your song with acoustically, or, if something went wrong with your looper, can you carry on? Right, we've got 3 left. The next one is be creative and be original. Now, looping can be really inspiring, it can be rewarding for you, and it can help you express yourself and create your own music. You should be creative and obviously be original anyway, and try and loop things in a different way. The number one thing, and loads of people who use loop pedals or use loopers will tell you that, and I've been guilty of this, is where you put everything down and then you put the bass down, you put the drums down, you put the harmonies down, you put everything down, and then you start singing. And it's like 3 minutes have gone. You look up, especially in a live environment, audience are bored. You're like, oh, what's he doing? Are you ready? I've heard this loop 7 million times and I haven't even heard him sing verse 1 yet. So think about different ways you can actually use the instruments, the sounds, the effects, just to create unique loops. This is where things like effects come in. You know, you add effects in to change the dynamics of the sound. Also, if you're using a loop pedal with other people, so if you're collaborating, how are you going to introduce the loop pedal into it? So really, really useful for things like that. Hi Trent, how are we doing? Found your video research on the RC500. Thank you for all the great information. Any tips for getting gig ready to loop with a band in lieu of a bassist or rhythm player? Yes, what you need to do, certainly if you've got a 500, you've got 99 memories on this thing, you could actually preset it up in such a way where you've got the songs, one song per memory, or maybe one song for every 3 memories, so like the verse, the chorus, the bridge, and you could obviously have it set in this, have it in your bag. You know, bassist isn't well and can't come to the gig, you've got it there. You could do things like that. But the other thing as well is obviously then you need to learn how to play with it. You're playing with alongside a looper is like playing alongside a drummer. So if you have a good, even if you had a little groove going, definitely useful for things like that. The worst thing for me personally, and this is just my personal opinion, I can't stand the click track. I can't stand I prefer and having a bit of a groove going, because you find more things in the intonations. So maybe putting things in like that will help people play along with the looper. The looper in that scenario maybe like a backing track, and if you watch the video about obviously turning the RC5 into a backing track, same process. Have a look at one of the later videos we've just done, which is actually about transferring loops. We use the RC500 as an example for this, and also we do the full RC500 course, which today is the last day to get 15% off, so go to johnpaulmusic.co.uk for that. So I hope that's helpful to you, mate. Where was I? Yes, basically being creative. So be creative, be original. Now, there's some places where you play a song and people want to sing along because the song is that synonymous with singing along with the verse, the chorus, the bridge. That's just the way it is. Other songs you could be a bit more flexible with. Maybe you can actually make it your own and change the way you actually do that song. So there's lots of different ways to actually be creative. Depends on what you want to do. Just seeing what Australian Ray's put there. Well, that's a conversation for you to have with your drummer. So yeah, but basically, being creative is one of these things that, you know, it separates you from every other loop artist that's out there. If you watch YouTube videos of people who've just done a song, and earlier ones, there's ones of me doing this where you put everything down, and it just sounds like the it just sounds like the you know, like the original. You know, it just sounds like the CD. I was going to say it sounds like the CD, but I'm not allowed to see CD anymore because people said to me it's dead media. It sounds like the track. How millennial. So it sounds like the track. It sounds like, you know, the original song. So much so you might as well have just put a CD on. I've said CD. Tough. I'm in my 40s now. Get with it. So I just wanted to obviously let you be aware of this, because it's one of these things where you could create your own version of it. Someone could film it, put it on Instagram. It could go viral because it's different to the original. Things like that are quite good. Number 9. I've been doing loads of selfish plugs on all over this place, but learn from others. Learn from other people. Learn from people you wouldn't really expect to learn from. Me and Pierce actually had this conversation, and Pierce surprised me, because Pierce turned around and said, have you seen what's been going on with Swizz Beatz? I was like, yes, actually. So if you're not familiar with what Swizz Beatz are, Swizz Beatz is basically the YouTube channel for all the international beatboxing championships and things like that. So learn from genres that you wouldn't normally listen to, because there's something to take away from that. What's a John Wynn? And he said John Wick then. He'd love it to be called John Wick. What's a John Wynn trick where the looper is set up with partial backing tracks? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Hello, a big glow stick. I haven't got one. Here's a mouse. Hello. Synth. Is that your name? Just synth. That's cool. I like that. Yes. So basically, yes, that is a trick that John does. So John Wynn, another YouTuber who actually lives around by me. His first half of the set he does completely sort of like from scratch, as it were. So nothing is pre-recorded. And the second half of his track, because he does a lot of disco stuff, the second half of his track is actually drilled in, and it's kind of already pre-programmed. So he just goes next, and it just goes into the next song, which is really, really cool. Hi Craig, hope you're well. So things like that are really, really cool, because you're actually more relaxed for the second half because you know what's coming. So things like that are really cool. So Trent, my advice, if you're still here, I hope you are, go and have a look at John Wynn's YouTube channel, and you'll see this muscly man with loopers, and he's a good friend of mine. And basically he does a really, really cool thing about his set lists. Really, really good. Anyway, I love that. A big glow stick. I think there's a lot to be said for working out how to replicate someone else's loop arrangements. You're going to learn a lot by doing that, but don't go and perform that arrangement. That's fair. I mean, the thing is, on my, I've got another course which is called How to Loop Like a Pro, and inside that course, I actually break down one of my songs, completely break it down. Also, if you want to have a look through my past live streams, I've got a live streams which is literally like how to loop this song, or it's more like how I loop this song. Now you take from it what you want, so you could end up looping it the same if you want to, but then that's it. But I was very, very lucky to actually do a cover of one of my friend's songs live. I asked his permission, of course, and then I didn't hear it before I did it. And he loved the way I actually did it, because it's not a looped song. It's just it's a fantastic song, which is by Joe McAdam, which is called Sweet Sister. And it's him and a guitar. That's how he performs it. And I said, well, I want to, do you mind if I perform it with the looper? So it's like a full band, and he was blown away. I'm happy he's blown away. I'm very honoured he was blown away, because I put a lot of work into it. So be original, be creative, change things up. Like, it doesn't have to be the same way as the CD, the track, whatever. And then if you've done something super original, then what you can do, of course, is you can obviously release it. You can even release covers. And that leads me nicely onto these guys. This live stream is sponsored. It's sponsored by a friend over at DistroKid, and DistroKid is a music distribution company. Now, you can actually pay per release for other companies, but DistroKid, they just charge you one price per year, which is $22.99. And with the link that's underneath, it's also a QR code. It's also in the description box. That gives you 7% off your first annual membership with them. So for the less than $22, for me, it's around about £18 in the UK. I can release as much music of my own music as I want to. And every release gets a web page called a hyperfollow page, which has got where all the songs are. So I can just hand it out to fans, and that's really, really easy and really easy to do to promote. So I love DistroKid for that reason. I think they're really, really cool for that reason. So thank you very much for them for sponsoring the live stream. And obviously, I just want you to obviously have a look at that. Smooth segue to the sponsor there. Oh yes. That was not even practiced. I'm telling everyone to go and practice. Thank you for that. Oh, good, Trent. You sure think you will check it out? Good. I'm glad. Yeah. Message him. Message John. He'll happily tell you how he does it, because I think it's a cool way of doing things. Certainly, if you've got like a full band, funky, whatever, like rock environment, you don't want to have that taken away just because you're maybe missing a drummer that night, or you're missing a bassist, or things like that. Because drums and bass are the solid rock of the band that you're in. Right. Learn from others. Yeah. So of course, selfish plug. Go to johnpaulmusic.co.uk. I've got courses, how to loop basics. In fact, hang on, where are you? There. How to master the basics of looping, 5% off when you put the word in subscriber. I've got another one which is called How to Loop Like a Pro. I've even got the RC500 course. I've got the RC600 course, which has now got over 55 videos inside it, which is crazy. And you can pay monthly with some of these that are obviously a bit more pricey. So if you want to pay monthly, you can do. Again, 5% off with the word subscriber. So put the word subscriber in and do us a big favor and just give this video, this live stream, a thumbs up right now. That'd be very useful. I wonder if this will work. Hang on. Oh no, it's not available. Never mind. Doesn't matter. I was going to tell you something, but I can't now. Oh no, please tell us. No. So learn from others. Don't just learn from me, learn from other people. Go and look at Pierce's YouTube channel. Go and look at John Wynn's YouTube channel. Go and look at Carl Wachner's YouTube channel. Go and look at Ben Rowland's, although Ben Rowland's is kind of like doing half music, half gaming now, so he's doing lots of different things. Hats off to him. He's done an incredible job with YouTube. He's now got, I think he's got 3 channels now. Absolute blinder with that. Amazing for different things, like so one's music, one's gaming, and the other one's I think just general tech like TVs and stuff. But anyway, learn from others from looping, like pull down the structure, get a piece of paper and a pen and go, right, at that point he wrote in there, Loopy Max. How did I miss a Loopy Max out? Sorry, Max. Absolutely. Go to Loopy Max's channel, go to APT Music, go to lots of different people. I've got so many people I could mention. I'd like to thank my friends for this award. God, I'm such an idiot. Let's have a look. Ross Gallagher. Go to Ross Gallagher's channel for the RC600, as well as mine, of course. Ross is fantastic. Ross has got some great stuff. Never seen Ross's face. Go to Emily McVicker. Go and have a look at the way she loops. Go and have a look at Emily's stuff, because she's been looping in lots of different ways, really interesting ways. So there's a lot of people there. There's Matt Bolton. Matt Bolton's another one. Live streams for 3 hours and just basically shows you like what he's doing with his RC600. It's incredible. And that really, I don't know if you still got it actually. The really wobbly drum stand. You'll know what I mean when you see it. David Shannon. Go and have a look at David Shannon's live looping live stream. And if you haven't caught David Shannon's podcast yet, go and grab David Shannon's podcast. Go to David Shannon's website or his YouTube channel. He's now doing a podcast about musicians' health, and it's really good. Inbar as well. I need to speak to Inbar. I want to actually. I'm putting it out here right now. I haven't even said it to them. Inbar, if you're watching, or if you're available, I'd love to have a chat with you. Love to put you out there on How Do You Loop, because Inbar's done some really interesting stuff. Reinhardt Burt as well. I really want to get hold of him. I want to get hold of Katie Tunstall and Ed Sheeran as well. So let's just put it all out there. But learn from others. That's what I'd say is, don't just watch the video, watch and pause it. Watch and pause. Write down what they've done. 4 bars in, they put this down. 4 bars in, they took this off. And just learn from that, and that will help you, certainly with number 3, which is planning your set list and structuring your songs. So, learn from others is number 9. And then the final one, and don't just turn off when I say this, because this is actually something that's quite serious. Have fun and enjoy yourself. And I do mean this genuinely, because it shows when you're not. So from a performance point of view, if you're confident, or you even look confident even when you don't feel it inside, it really shows. And that can be the difference, certainly if you're live streaming, am I meant to press that button? Or you're like, you're going for it. And people are like, yeah, he's going for it. And that's what you're an entertainer at that point. So you need to be entertaining people. And I think that is a really fundamental thing. Just have fun with it. Relax. Breathe. And just have some fun with it. If it messes up, so what? It's not the end of the world. You just do it again. If you're recording for a video and it needs to be perfect, then yes, concentrate, of course, but still have fun with it. The reason why people love Mark Rebellier live is because he's just having a crap load of fun. He's just enjoying himself loads. Absolutely. So have fun, enjoy yourself. Absolutely. Pierce, if you're a Looper user and guitarist, Max, yeah, of course, absolutely. Oliver, what's his name? Makes some great videos of Ed Sheeran overlaid with a view of what he's doing with the looper. Who's Oliver? What's his name? Tell me. I'm interested. I actually don't know who Oliver is. That's interesting. So I want to know. So if you are still with us and you've been watching this right from the beginning, then hi, thank you. Do me a favor, give this a big thumbs up. Wherever you are, if you're watching on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitch, on X, and even on Instagram, as well on Instagram right now. I know there's quite a few of you, obviously, across the different platforms. So say hi. Obviously, join in on the conversation with Trent and Pierce and Australian Ray. I think may have fallen asleep by now because it was 2 a.m. when we started for Australian Ray. Are you still there, Australian Ray? Are you there? Come in. So, hi David, how are we doing? You okay? I hope you're well. I hope obviously things are going well for obviously everyone for their looping and their January. What have you accomplished? If you haven't accomplished it, don't worry, you've still got 11 months left. Is Australian Ray still here? You must be shattered, mate. I hope you're well. So don't worry, and what I would suggest to everyone, I've just given you 10 things to get gig ready, gig ready for a live stream, gig ready for gigging, physical, no, that sounds wrong. Gigging in a venue as opposed to live stream. I was going to say real gigging. I was like, oh my god, I can't say that. That's because live streaming is real gigging. You know what I mean? I don't want to offend anyone. I've given you 10 things to obviously think about, but this is also to think about for songwriting as well. So everything I've just said was about gig ready and performance. Let's go through it again. Think about the songwriting. Choose a loop pedal or choose a looper. Practice with that looper. Practice your set list. Check your levels for songwriting. Check your gear. Location. Where are you songwriting with the gear? Gotta go, but very informative. Welcome, Rabbit, no problem at all. Have a great day. I hope you're okay. 3 a.m. now. Be flexible. Be creative. Learn from others. And have fun and enjoy yourself. I mean, if that's not my 10 commandments for life. David, Digitech Janman Delay or Boss RC500? It's for guitar. Now, the Digitech Janman is really old. And I don't mean that in any disrespect. The reason I'm saying that is because the actual quality of the audio you're getting out of it is actually, ironically, CD quality. The quality of the audio you're getting out of the new range of Boss loopers is 32-bit. It's actually, it's not 16-bit, it's 32-bit. Plus, you're getting a couple of nice things, to go with it in a sense of functionality. The thing as well is, have a look through the playlist. You can change what these buttons do. So every one of these buttons can be something different, and you can add buttons on the end. And you've got MIDI. You've got, I think it's something like, oh, my brain's gone dead. 9 hours of full playback on here, 1.5 hours per track, and there's 99 tracks. So a total of total of 9 hours, I think. Someone quote me on that. The buttons, people don't like these buttons, but I tell you what, if this is the way Boss are heading with the VE22, I like these buttons. They're lovely. With the buttons there. Obviously, this is a vocal performer. You can't plug a guitar in. There's no auto harmony and there's no MIDI. But the great thing about this is that it's got an amazing screen, the USB-C out, and if you're a vocalist in a band, this is for you. If you like the VE20, the VE2, this is a monster in that range. But regarding back to obviously your question of should I go for one or the other from the Digitech Jamman over to the RC500 or the RC500? It's for guitar. I'm very biased because the Jamman there's no support for it anymore. Not really. This is fairly new in that respect compared to the two of them. You can add MIDI on and you can get something like like this, which is a MIDI foot controller. So you can actually have like 7 buttons, and then you can add on like an expression pedal as well. So you can have 8 buttons or 7 buttons and an expression pedal, or 9 buttons. So for me, flexibility wise, being able to command and control how it works, RC500. That's my personal recommendation. Get it from somewhere which has got a good returns policy. Therefore, if you don't like it, you can return it. I always say that. And then obviously it depends on what you like. If you've been messing around with yes, it runs 24-bit, 32-bit float, absolutely. But yeah, it depends obviously on what you want to do. If you've got someone or can get hold of a Digitech Jam Man, go and mess with one for a couple of hours, and then go and mess with an RC500 for a couple of hours. You'll soon know. But you've got to learn it. You have got to learn it. Go through my playlist that's on YouTube for the RC500, or better still, another nice segue there, my RC500 course, literally 15% off, ends at the end of this month, which is today. So I'm including today obviously in the discount, but then the 1st of February that discount is gone. Go to johnpaulmusic.co.uk if you cannot scan the QR code, and you're going to get 15% off. That 15% off is going to go on the 1st of Feb. Right then, so that's my 10, shall I say, commandments. That's my 10 things for obviously getting gig ready. But before we go, I have 21 buttons and 3 expression pedals on my RC600. You remember a little live stream, and I did it all with the 05 Mark II, and there's a song. Where is it? I'm going to bring it up. This might be too big because I haven't actually resized it. Yeah, so that is part too big. But hopefully, there we go. 52 saves. I got 52 saves on my RC600. 52 saves on my Unlight. And right underneath there is Pierce's Dinner. Beep bap boot up, beep bap boot up. Now the thing is, that album, which is called Looping My Brain, that album, which is called Looping My Brain, was actually from a live stream, and then I took the audio from that live stream and released it, and I released it with DistroKid. So I released it with these guys, and it just basically took the audio, made an AI version of myself, this guy, and then I just released it through DistroKid. So obviously DistroKid have been sponsoring this live stream. So there we go, 99 now, and I have to back it up and go again. You've filled it with 99 memories. Well done, that's fantastic. So obviously, if you obviously do things like live streams and you record that live stream as well, you can get the audio from that, and then obviously you could just release that music. I think it'd be very, very cool to do that. Not pointing any fingers, Ray Pierce. Then I think you should be releasing stuff every week. But let's just say you're a band, or you're actually live streaming your shows. You could actually release the shows as an album, as a live stream album or a live album. You could do that as well. That, Ray, is very impressive. Are you using? I feel like you're using the 600 like a workboard, like a working things out scratch board. It's quite cool. But there we go. That is my obviously 10 things. Yeah, you are. Cool. That is my 10 things about basically getting gig ready. I hope you've enjoyed this. And if you have, give this a thumbs up. If you are just joining us now, then this is going to be available as a replay on YouTube. So if you want to go to the YouTube channel, and then obviously you'll be able to watch this on the replay. If you've got a question about getting gig ready, then obviously pop it in the comments section below, and then you'll be able to I'll be able to answer it. So we can do that, and we can all learn together. I am one of these people that does say that, a rising tide lifts all ships. I'm not one of these people who wants to keep all the secrets to myself. I want to make sure that everyone gets as best as possible, certainly when it comes to looping. Yeah, it's how I write my songs. Oh, that's quite cool. I like that. It's nice. So with that, I am trying to find something. There we go. Let's do that. So with that, basically all is left to say is obviously thank you very much for joining us, and obviously if you're watching on any of the platforms that we're streaming on, thank you so much. It means the world to me, and obviously by supporting me, you get thumbs ups and subscribes and stuff. You do support me. Last little thing, if you are absolutely dedicated to the channel and you want to be more dedicated, you can now join my YouTube membership. It's like Patreon, but it's YouTube. So that is available actually on the YouTube channel, and there is a membership section. Now, there's 2 different tiers. The membership section, basically, there's one where I just release the videos early and you get to see them before the public do. And there's another one, which is a top tier, where we even do a live stream just for the members. So it's like booking me out, so you can actually get your questions answered and things like that. So I just obviously wanted to highlight that, because obviously by joining the membership, you're helping me support this channel and keep this channel going for me and my family, with guilt trip, obviously. So I just wanted to say a massive thank you to those who are my members already, and if you are considering it, have a look, see what you think. So with that in mind, I am going to sign off. Thank you very much for obviously a lovely live stream and a lovely conversation, and we will see you all hopefully next week. Bye. Go and get some sleep, Ray. Go to bed. It's time. Go to bed.